and peered in the trunk. He stifled a wince as he looked at the woman who lay gagged and trussed up like a pig, ready for the spit. She stared up at him with mascara-smudged eyes, bloodshot from crying, her pleas muffled by the gag. Tucking the keys in his jacket pocket, Harvey delighted in the way she writhed and whimpered. "Picked a fine one this time, didn't I, boy?" Robbie rattled the change in his pockets. "She's skinny. Could stand to gain a pound or two, but she's strong and pretty. Given time, bet she'd grow into a stunning woman." Harvey trailed a hand along her leg, and when she jerked away, he smiled. "Beauty's skin deep, boy. Remember that. What you want in a woman is spirit. Couldn't coax this one in the car with a $50 bill like the others. No, sir, this one is leery by nature. Not swayed by pretty words. Careful, cautious. Best kind in my book." For this one, Harvey had created an intricate backstory, stolen a late-model Volvo wagon with a baby seat in the back, and dressed in khakis and a baby blue button-down shirt. "The kind of shirt a safe guy wore," he'd said. In the end, she'd fallen for Harvey's hoax, wrongly assuming that the outward physical cues reflected the inner man's true intent. When she'd gotten into his car and realized her mistake, Harvey said she'd fought, landing a hard blow to his face. The pain had snapped his temper, and he'd backhanded her hard across the mouth. Her blood had splattered the windshield. He'd knocked her out cold. As they'd planned, Harvey drove the Volvo to the empty parking lot where Robbie waited with the Impala. As Harvey tied up the girl and loaded her in the trunk, Robbie had stayed in the car as he'd been told, but it had taken every ounce of control to stay put. He'd wanted to run, wanted to hide. Harvey, however, was enjoying himself. He'd taken care to wake her up. He'd wanted her awake, aware of the danger. She'd jerked and pulled at her bindings, but his knots were sure. Smiling, Harvey had rubbed the tender spot on his jaw before slamming the trunk closed. For most of the drive up from Austin, Harvey didn't notice her kicks and screams. He talked about the weather, the diner that served the best pancakes, even his upcoming teaching assignment. Just another day for Harvey. But each thump and shriek had raked across Robbie's nerves, and when he couldn't stand it anymore, he'd turned on the radio, tuning to a country western station. Now, as Harvey watched her twist against her bindings, he smiled. "Glad to see the ride didn't drain all the fight out of you, girl. Nothing worse than a broken spirit." Dark eyes narrowed, and he knew this one would go to the grave fighting. "Robbie," he said, clasping his hands together, "time to get this show on the road." Harvey grabbed the girl by the midsection, hauled her out of the trunk like a sack of potatoes, and hefted her over his shoulder. She smelled of sweat, urine, and the faintest hint of department store perfume. She struggled and tried to ram her knees into his belly, but the bindings kept her immobile and easy to handle. Robbie scanned the darkened road they'd just traveled. "Harvey, I don't want to do this. I'm not ready. Let me stay in the car." "Come on, son. We've been talking about this for weeks. You're 23, man enough. We've put this day off long enough." Fear weighed down Robbie's feet. "I know I said I wanted to do this, but I don't think I can. Not yet." "Don't be silly, boy. Like riding a bike. Once you get the hang of it, it's as easy as pie." With the girl on his shoulder, Harvey followed the familiar path into the woods. It had been 20+ years since he'd been here. But Harvey didn't miss a jutting root, rock, or bend on the trail. These were his woods, his home. Robbie trailed after him. A couple of times he stumbled, muttered under his breath, but he kept moving. Harvey had been his father for 10 years, and Robbie would have matched Harvey against any father. Harvey had taken him away from a crack-addicted mother, seen that he was educated, well-fed, and clothed. He was a perfect father, except for the fact that Harvey liked to kill women. Not all the time, but every so often. Robbie had never questioned or feared his father's obsession.